Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to have a wee quick look at colour popping. Some of you have been quite interested in this and I just want to make sure that you are doing it right. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to File and Open and select an image that I think would lend itself well to colour popping. The one that I have a habit of using is one called follow.jpg. So if you give me a wee second I will just find it, click on it and press the open button. Now there's a lot of different ways to desaturate an image. The quickest and easiest being image adjustments and desaturate, but this will give you problems sometimes, and I'll show you what I mean. Whenever I hit the desaturate, yes, the color disappears. And in order to bring color back to this, I'm going to then go to the history brush, which is right 5, and it's option 1. Now here you always have to sort of look at the size of your brush. Okay, so if I grab the size slider here, you'll see there that the brush gets larger the more I take it to the right, or smaller the more I take it to the left. We also have a hardness slider. You want to leave it reasonably soft. Okay, you don't want the edges being defined. Now, typically what happens is as we go round the subject, you will see the color come back, and you'll notice that I'm not taking the edge of my brush up to the edge of the subject. What normally happens is, as novice Photoshop users, you do take the edge of the brush up to the edge of the subject and you end up bringing in some of the blue of the water as well. The reason for this is basically that the softness, okay, you can see here we're 0% hard, okay, so it's extremely soft. The softness of the brush is on the outside past the edge of the brush, which is why you're bringing in some of the blue. So how do we counteract this? Well, basically we're going to use the normal paintbrush, and this is the what not to do. Okay, if I go to the paintbrush, we are looking black to be in the foreground, so I'm going to just choose black and I'm going to hit the OK button. And at this stage, just check your brush size, bring it down to something manageable. Okay, at this stage, if I apply the brush, all I'm doing is painting black onto the image and we're losing the image detail or the image information. And the reason for that is because we're still on the mode of normal. If I go from normal down to color, and if I just do a wee quick step back just to get rid of that black paint, on the color mode, it's almost like desaturating. Okay, now you may want to zoom in here. There's different ways that you can zoom in. I need to get my navigator to appear, so if I just go to Window and Navigator, you'll see that it will appear, okay, up on the top right. And whenever the navigator appears, we can zoom in. And you'll notice that this little red box gets smaller in your navigator thumbnail. You can grab that with your mouse and you can move across, which allows you to pan around your image. The reason why you might want to zoom in is so that you can see things bigger on screen, so that you can be more accurate. So now, going back to the brush, I'm on right 4 option 1, which is normal paintbrush. I have black in my foreground and I've changed the mode from normal to color. And at this stage, if I hold down my mouse, and it's still a very soft edge, it's not terribly noticeable here, but you'll see that your saturation, or sorry, your desaturation rather, is a different level or tone of desaturation from the original desaturate that you chose within the image menu. It's not that noticeable whenever it's magnified, but let's take it out and see, does it look any different? It's not too bad. But just let me show you a more extreme version. Okay, so I've gone back to the history brush, which is right 5. I'm going for a slightly bigger brush. I'm going to bring back just some of the water. So right 5 to add colour in or bring colour back, right 4 to desaturate, and you'll see that that is desaturating to a completely different tone than previous. Okay, so that's the first part. I'm just going to go back to File and Revert. Okay, so whenever I want to desaturate, I will start off with right 4, option 1, which is the paintbrush, with black in the foreground and the mode as color. I'm then going to increase the brush size as large as I can, so 5000 pixels is actually too big, we'll go for 2.5 or thereabouts. This is a smallish image. And you can see, I can see the crosshair, but I can't see the edge of the brush. So I take that off the page a bit. You may start to see, no, it's way too big. Okay, still too big. Okay, so you can see half of the brush. going on there. Okay, so that's the size of the brush compared to the size of the image. So if I just hold down my mouse and just move it about a bit, it desaturates all in one go. Bigger brushes make less work the majority of the time. Do remember to take your brush size down to something that you can manage later on, because you can and will make mistakes. Okay, so we're back out to the image almost full screen. To add the colour in, we're not choosing the colour, we're just putting back the colour of the history of the pixels that were there. So we're going to Right 5, Option 1, the history brush, and we're just maybe going to zoom in a little bit and navigate to that front fish and just add the colour in. So we're just going to bring in a little bit too much blue, and this time whenever we go back to Right 4, Option 1, with our manageable sized brush, and we start taking off the excess blue that we brought in. Okay, do bear in mind with the soft brushes, when you take the edge of your brush up to the edge of the subject, you will bring in some stuff to the other side of it. Okay, now wee quick tip for you here. I do quite like keyboard shortcuts, and I want to get my brush size smaller from time to time. If you press down the left bracket, the left square bracket on your keyboard, you can resize your brush size without having to go anywhere near the options. And then the right square bracket to make it larger. And there we have a colour popped item. Again, you would do File, Save As to save it. Thanks guys.